in a game that featured probably two of the most disappointing teams in this NFL 2024 season. The Miami Dolphins would defeat the San Francisco 49ers by a score of 29-17. Dolphins moved to 7-8. There's still a very outside chance, but still a slight chance that they could sneak into the postseason. And, of course, they can still have a winning season by winning their last two games. The Niners fall to 6-9, and they will suffer a very unexpected losing season. So I want to just recap this game for you real quick. If you do like the content of this particular video, you know what to do. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe as well to my channel. That would be 120% awesome. So this one was a relatively defensive type game here. I mean, going down the stretch, it was 22-7. Well, first it was 19-17, then Dolphins added a field goal, 22-17, and then they get the 50-yard breakaway clinching touchdown run by De'Von Achane. The Purdy interception towards the end, the clutch pick by the Dolphins was due to the pressure. They were able to get pressure on Brock Purdy, although he did play pretty well in completing 26-39 passes, 313 yards, 2 touchdowns, and interception. So he threw for more yards than Tua. But Tua, once again, was very low with his mistakes. Did not make many mistakes. Didn't turn it over. No interceptions. Threw for a modest 215 yards, but he did have a touchdown throw to Tyreek Hill. Completed 22 out of 34 himself. So Dolphins get a nice, and Achane, really, that's your player of the game right there, right? I mean, he had 121 yards running the football with that big touchdown run. And then as a receiver, he led the Dolphins in receiving with 70 yards on 6 catches. Mostert looking more like the old Raheem Mostert, and a nice backup role here today. 8 carries, 31 yards, saw a little bit more action. That was good to see. Jonnu Smith still looking pretty strong out there. 6 catches, 62 yards. He's looking good. They're finding him underneath. Tyreek had a quiet game other than the touchdown catch. He had 3 catches, including the touchdown reception. It was 3 for 29. Malik Washington went 3 for 28. So without Waddle's contributions, they are finding different ways. Of course, Jonnu becomes a little bit more important there in the passing game. But guys like Malik Washington stepping up, who's played pretty well since the dropped punt that we all remember on Thanksgiving night. Sorry to bring that up, against Green Bay. So, nice win for the Dolphins. They get to move to 7-8. You can still have a winning record. At Browns, we're finishing up the season on 2 road games, at Cleveland and at the New York Jets. Jets looked kind of bad today. I was watching part of that. They lost 19-9 to the Rams at home, but that's a whole other thing. We don't got to worry about them next week. Next week's the Browns, so you got to win that game. And, of course, we need a lot of help. But, hey, you could still finish with 9 wins. That should be the goal. You can't control all these outside factors and outside things that are completely out of your control. I mean, you just can't count on that. So just win next week against Cleveland. The record will be even at 8-8. Other than that, I liked how the defense played. I mean, they played pretty good. They got pressure at times, especially on as I was mentioning, on that big interception there late in the game on Purdy. It was definitely Achane, though, being counted on heavily. Tyreek not really getting open down the field or turning his underneath catches into big gains, but they're obviously keying on Tyreek. So what can I tell you? But the Dolphins are not a bad football team if they hold their turnovers in check like they did today. Once they start turning it over like they did last week against Houston, forget it. We're not really good enough to win those, especially against decent teams when we're turning it over like that. But if we could just keep our turnovers respectable, let's say definitely no more than 2 against Cleveland, I see us winning that game then too. And then we'll go into the final game against the Jets. So just got to stay optimistic, guys. It was nice to see this game. Whenever I see the Niners and the Dolphins, it always reminds me of that Montana versus Dan Marino Super Bowl. But we were far from that today. Rest assured. we were far from that Super Bowl. And we're far in years. It's like, what, 40 years ago or so. I think it is 40 years ago. Montana versus Marino in the Super Bowl. So, great to see, though. Great to see. Nice win. You know, good to bounce back at a nice win. So let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.